Hello, welcome to my cake kitchen. If you see me for the first time, I am Gladys. I love cake, and over here I make cake. I talk about them. Let me adjust this camera quickly. Let me just adjust. Okay, let's adjust this real quick. Okay, hopefully that's better. Okay, hopefully this is better, right? So over here we make cakes, we talk about cakes, we do all things cake. And today we are not baking. Okay, today I am prepping for the bake that should be happening in the next couple of days. We have quite a few cakes to get through. We have vanilla to go, we have chocolate, and a few other things in between. My hope is that I'll be able to bring you along the entire process. And if you're a beginner who is just starting baking and decorating and you just want to enhance your skill, stick with us, because the lives are quite informative and they are made with the intention to bring you behind the scenes, introducing you to some of the very raw and edited moments of the cake decorating process. So yes, I love cakes, I make them. There is a part of this process where you get to see the clean, polished aspects of the cake decorating process, which is the finished product of a beautifully well presented cake. But if you catch me on here, it's about to be some mess and some drama. But I only, normally the lives are anything between an hour to an hour and a half and beyond. Today I only have a short time to spare because I have an impending appointment to attend to. So I thought, instead of not turning up at all, I'm just going to come and bring you along the preparation process of organizing the tin. This is a 6 and an 8-inch cake that I am going to be prepping. So I'm going to bring you along the lining of the tins, the measuring of the ingredients, some of the ingredients that I don't have in stock and have to go and source for later, and everything else in between. And when my time is up, it will be adios, see you later, and then we'll be back tomorrow. And whilst we're at it, I also have a surprise to show you, so stick around and I will show you what that is before we leave. I made a cake last week, and part of that cake making process I brought you along. That cake is up here, and as of this moment in time, the cake is posted on our community post. So if you go, you can go see that cake over there on the community post. I had a bit of an artist's block with that cake. I'll tell you in a minute, but I'll also tell you the feedback, which is the surprise. The feedback has literally has floored me, and I thought I will bring you along and I'll tell you some of the inner conflict of an artist against what the world sees. Okay, so let's get to it. And Thapitha, our good friend and sister, is back. Thapitha, I've got a confession. When I show up here, right, because I know I should show up for 3 o'clock. When I show up before the 3 o'clock mark, a little part of me knows that you are not here yet, because you're probably thinking, oh, she's not here yet, right? But when I show up and I don't see you or Lollipop or any of the people in the chat, I almost feel like I'm missing something. Is that a good thing? How are you, Thapitha? Great to have you back. How was your weekend? We are back. Normally the Tuesdays lives are a little bit like picking myself back up from the weekend's like dealings. Okay, so it's a little bit slow, and I've already said I have some appointments to attend to, so we won't be here for long. But boy, have I not got a surprise for you. The surprise is the customer feedback from the cake, some of the cakes we made over the weekend, and also the trouble I had mentally that I probably didn't tell you all about, so that you get to see what goes on in the artist's mind. But right now we've got ingredients and stuff to do. This time we are making a wedding cake. So this prep work is going to be going towards a wedding cake. And the cake is due for collection on Saturday morning. I have to be done with it for Friday evening because I don't want to wake up Saturday to any tasks. So hopefully I can bring you along the entire process of this particular cake. I'm actually excited because you know what, people? I say it time and again, I do not know. If you see them cake makers that run a bakery style business from their home, churning out up to 9-10 cakes a week, I can't do it. I can't do it. Now, I do not know whether that is privilege or that is just laziness or that's an admission of my own limitation and capacity. Okay? Because last week, how many cakes did I make last week? There was 30 cupcakes, a 2-tiered cake, and 2 single cakes. Okay? So a 2-tiered cake, 2 6-inch cakes, and then 30 cupcakes. And then some buttercream, 2 lots of buttercream. And my week started on Monday, even though the lives were Tuesday through to Friday. The week started on Monday when I had to organize stuff. You know what? I wasn't here on Saturday on a live, but my Saturday was a full baking day as well because that was when I baked the 30 cupcakes. And then I completed the 6-inch, one of the 6-inch cake because that was going to go on the Sunday. My people, I'm still recovering from the week's activity between the lives because you get to see a block of my time on the lives as well because the baking is done live for you, except I was kind of tight for time. And there were 2 lives at least each day, right? From Tuesday through to Friday. I am tired. I spent Sunday literally slumped on my couch. That was Sunday for me. Yesterday, I tried so hard to kind of reset and it's like, it's not happening. So yesterday, I did half of the day and the rest of the day, I literally just wanted to go to sleep. Today, I woke up at 10 a.m. I've managed to kind of do stuff I need to do, but I'm still tired. I don't know how people manage 9 cakes in a week from their home kitchen. That's all I'm saying. There's Lasso Kid. There is Sofa Guys. There is Miss Sugar. Is it Miss Sugar? Miss Sugar. I don't know. People, is there something wrong with me? Because make no mistake, I would like my output to increase and I would like to do more. But I just feel like, what do you think about Sydney Sweeney? I don't know Sydney Sweeney, darling. And I'm not kidding. I've heard the name in the news and the papers. But look, I'm a cake maker. I am an African. I am a Ghanaian resident in the UK. I'm a cake maker. When I wake up, I mind my business with my kiddo over here. If in any slight news that concerns me are small things like the things you can't avoid, like Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, like a bit of Meghan Markle over here, because sometimes the news is in your face, but otherwise I don't know Sydney Sweeney. I don't care. Okay, I'm sorry. I might not be your kind of person, but so for guys, I was asking if there is something wrong with my output. And Sofa Guy says work-life balance is what's most important. Sofa Guys, thank you. That is so kind of you to say. I think I accept that my capacity. The fact that I told you, I said it out loud. The fact that I said it out loud that, you know what, I can't. It's a good thing because I can't. I'm too tired. Right now, all I want to do is if there was a content star where I can just go to sleep and for you to watch me, that's what I'll be subscribing to, darling. Because I get tired, right? But anyway, how was y'all's weekends? Tapita says today is the first today. Okay, Tapita says I'm good. Weekend was good. Today is the first day back to school. Oh my goodness. Well, our kids go back tomorrow. Okay, some schools have started today, but generally all schools go back tomorrow. So we are all starting tomorrow. Okay. So for guys. Oh, people send gifts to others who sleep these days. I don't know if that's my ministry. It's a weird thing, isn't it? Like, why? Why are you watching anyone going to sleep? The whole point of sleep is supposed to make it private so you can feel rested. Why are you sleeping in the public arena? And the internet is more than a public arena. It's a black hole of all sorts. No, I'm kidding. I know you're kidding, but no. I just want to close my door and go to sleep, okay? I can come and tell you a bit about cakes, but no. Nicola, what is true? Nicola, stop encouraging him, okay? Because you people want me to make a whole career change. Because look, I could go to sleep, you know. But then again, am I... Okay, let's entertain the idea a little bit. If I go to sleep, am I filming the nighttime sleep or the daytime naps? Which one? You get to make a choice. Whew. What cake am I baking? Nick, I am... we are going to be making a wedding cake. So that is what the entire series for this week is going to be about. I am just prepping today we are not baking. I only have half an hour from this point to be done because I'm attending to an appointment shortly. So today we don't have all the time. However, I am just bringing you along the prep process for these cakes. There's a 6 and an 8-inch to serve 60. And then when I get the prep done, tomorrow we'll start the baking. The baking is chocolate and vanilla. But it's a semi-naked white polished cake that we're making. So I intend to kind of bring you along the process. So essentially that's what we are doing today. Just prepping the ingredient. That is if I can stop talking. But it's also because last week was very task heavy. And I kind of feel like much of the conversation passed. So today I just thought, let me bring you along the organizing process, ingredients and stuff, whilst I also catch you up to some of the things I missed. And most importantly, bring you some feedback on some of the cakes, one of the cakes I made last week. So the feedback I will read out to you shortly. Jackie is back. Jackie is back. Jackie, look at me dancing, right? We're not going to be here for long, people. So let's make the most of it. Let's make the most of it and have fun. Lollipop isn't here. So essentially, I hope you all had a good weekend. My weekend, considering the week I had, which was exhausting. I think sometimes when I show up here, I don't realize the commitment and how much it takes out of me. Because let's face it, with 2 lives a day, that's a lot. I'm not complaining. But I ended up neglecting my self-care a bit. My diet was rubbish. I guess the tiredness is down to if you don't feel well nourished. And my diet was rubbish. I'll put my hand up. I was scoffing on cakes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I was gulping down Oreo shakes over here. In fact, what you saw me nibbling on made up a large chunk of my week, which means diet-wise, I had neglected to nourish myself. And that has an impact, especially when you have such activities going throughout the week. It's like working on an empty, you know. So by the weekend, I was crushed. Saturday was a full baking day for me. I even had to film content, because you think, if I'm not on the live, I'm either doing some admin work, or I am kind of making content on the back end. So even though we finished the lives on a Friday and I wasn't here on Saturday, Saturday was still a full-on baking day for me. And it ran from about 9 a.m. all the way up to 9 p.m. all day. So I only had Sunday and yesterday. And by Sunday, I was so crushed. I woke up. I wanted to get ready for church, and it wasn't happening. I literally slumped myself on the sofa, and that was it. Yesterday, I did half a day. Like, my day started a little after 11 o'clock, and I was out doing some shopping and bits for school, get back to school. And by 3 o'clock, my day was beginning to slow down. So I guess I say all of that to say, bringing you along the prep work is also a good chance to kind of slow things down before tomorrow, when we will take up the real task of baking, because tomorrow the kids go back to school. So perhaps we'll go back to our 1 or 2 o'clock schedule, and it will be a live a day. I don't know if I will make a consideration to schedule a live for the evening, so that those who miss the morning session, because I know for my American audience, a 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock schedule means you're still in bed. But I'll see if I can make a consideration for a late in the evening, because when school comes into session, my schedule changes, because the evenings are just for prepping and getting ready back for the next morning when the boy goes back to school. So I'll see, but with your cooperation and support, I'm sure I can adapt and shift things slightly, and for us to remain flexible. The goal is always to bring you value here, and I hope I can count on that. That said, it's been a great weekend. I am well rested, as you can see. Today my goal is to try and drink a bit more. There's no water in here, by the way, but hydration is important. Today I have to do that. And also, I have already had my lunch. I had a healthy ground beef wraps with carrots and stuff. And I've drank my daily dose of tea. So I feel a little bit nourished. Post the appointment, I probably want to take a nice walk, a brisk walk, and try and slow down. Go and read my Bible a little bit. Last week we couldn't work out Psalm 23. Today it's Psalm 27. The Lord is my light and my salvation. For whom shall I fear? He's the strength. He's the strength of my life. Who shall I be afraid? Right? Is that correct? Psalm 27 verse 1. Let's try and see if we remember that. Okay. Where are we? Jackie says, okay, let's reset. Yep. Jackie says, I'm great. Oh, the squad is back. There's Lollipop. There is Nick. There is... Now, there goes the task out of the window. Okay, the tasks are gone. Okay, glad, get to work. Oh, Nicholas is Gladys, you're looking really pretty, honey. Honey, thank you. Right? Let's just try and get this skin in shape, okay? Because Nick, when I see you on the screen with your views and you say you are 54, I'm like, girl, come and hand me some of the beauty. And okay, maybe sometimes it's in the genes, so let me just stop complaining. But thank you, darling. Thank you so very much. And by the way, Nick, I was thinking, why did I think you'd gone to Malaysia? Right? I thought you'd gone away, because I was looking back at our messages from the lives, and I thought, oh, you're going to see mom. So I wanted to email you to ask if you were gone. It's great to have you back. When do you go, though? I know you'll be going soon. Anyway, but yes, I hope even if you go, it's not the end of keeping in touch, darling. Please do keep in touch. We'll chase you wherever you go. Okay? People, if you don't know what Nick does, please, if you go and, first of all, here's the tip. If you want to go and see Nick's content, make sure you eat before you make sure you eat before you log on to her content, because there's nothing worse than watching someone cook when you are hungry and you know you can't have any of the food. Good vibes is here. Good vibes is here. People, can we all give it for good vibes? Good vibes, friend. We've been asking after you, darling. Let's send some hugs. Good. Nick says, I'll be here forever and you'll be in my heart, honey. Back to you, okay? We're stuck at this point. We're stuck with each other, okay? We're just waiting. Like, you know what? I can't do both. I keep telling you, I'm either working or I'm not. I've been stood here all this time wanting to put this together, and look, I've barely gotten. Sorry, I'm like, whew, glad get to work, right? Here is the escaping pan. It fell over. Oh God, wow. I keep talking about us getting a trip sorted. I think if we really want to make this trip happen, right? It will involve a lot of planning. For those of you who want to come to the UK, because I'm stuck here, okay? Remember, I'm the immigrant. So you have to come and find me, okay? No, but yes, if we really want to make this trip happen, I guess it is something we need to put a lot of thought in and trust in and build and do it properly. I know I say it flippantly, but it would be an amazing thing to do. But we have to make it worthwhile. And I have no ideas right now in my head. I don't. And I've told you before, planning things makes me a little bit nervous. So let's get to praying seriously about this and see how we can figure this out. But it would be such an amazing thing to do, wouldn't it? But not just meeting up for the sake of, it has to be something that is worthwhile, something you will remember for a very long time. And because it's like a flight ticket is not cheap, you know, people, okay? So yeah, that would be a good thing to do. But yeah, I told you we only have half an hour, and much of it I've spent laughing or doing something or stalling. But I did say I was going to give you I was going to read you the review, the feedback from a client and one of the cakes we made last week. And I will also give you some back end feelings about how I feel about it. Just know that I am just like, I love what I do. I enjoy it. I can't say I'm not terrible with compliments. I can take a compliment or feedback, positive or negative. I can handle it. But I am always flawed. There is someone paying you a compliment and reviewing something you've done positively, and there's a difference when someone is really intentional, when they have no reason to, and you realize they have gone out of their way to not just express a simple thought about something that would still be in passing, but actually sat there to tell you something they really feel strongly about in a positive way. That is that's the sort of compliment I can't handle. It shifts my brain chemistry, and I spend days like literally dazed about it, because as a cake maker, I guess I know the quality of product I bring to the market, but I also live for the customer experience, because ultimately the customer is the final voice. It doesn't matter how much I think I have invested so much time and everything else in it. It doesn't matter. I don't live for defending my work when customer feedback is even in stark contrast with my belief system. And I guess that It's a safe space to be, because then it means that it focuses your attention on serving the customer obsessively. And even as I obsess about it, you may not know, but I obsess about the customer experience a lot, because I'm passionate about what I do. I tried not to make the focus of the feedback my goal. Okay, the goal is still to do the thing and to do it better every day. And I'm blessed to be able to do that. But the only reason this matters, and the reason why I bring it here, is because you guys saw the process and we spoke about the cakes. And yeah, so I guess this will be a final thought for you to be in on what has really transpired. So it will be lovely. I am not a planner, people. The trip, I think, you know what, amongst yourselves, let's pick, I think, you know what, if we're planning the trip, I would probably be the person okaying things. I'm not the planner. I am great with following it. If we were, say, a team, then I get to have the say and make sure things are done properly. So nothing gets confirmed, because it will still be my name and what do you call it? Because it's our village, I will still be the person making sure that nobody is in... Things are authenticated right, I guess, the risks. And so I am quite good with that. The planning itself, no. And that's not because I'm not a planner. It's because I actually also believe that there are people who are better than me. Do you see what I mean? There are people who can think outside of the box and come up with things that are amazing, that I know that even with my best thought, I cannot. Okay, so leave me to make cakes, and let's figure out within ourselves as a team who is great with what, who is what. But because it will be like a team effort, eventually it will all come together. So it won't be me, but as we develop the conversation, identify what you're good at, and then let's work out. Because don't forget, it's still like a little internet dark space, okay? We're just happy to find each other over here. So the goal will be not to just get on with planning and doing the thing. The goal will be finding a system that will make this credible and safer for us to even begin the planning. And as of this point in time, I have no idea. But I'm sure I have a few contacts and resources. First of all, I'm going to find Nick, because Nick, something tells me you may be able to kind of help us work this out. Okay, so we'll find Nick, then we'll find Jackie, then we'll find Good Vibes, and all of you in there. So this is a group effort. Okay, first of all, we have to figure out what we want to do. If it's in the UK, we can't do it without having like proper tea somewhere. Lovely tea somewhere. And the posher the place, the higher the price tag. Okay? But we'll see. We'll this is where sometimes our value system becomes an issue. Okay? Because remember, your sister, me, I came out here and I was like, let's do this on our own and not be too keen on sponsorships. And that's true. I've never been sponsored on this channel. Not because I wouldn't like to, but I just feel like I'm not at a place where I really want to pursue that. Plus, I don't have the time and resource to invest in that. Plus, I do not want anything that is likely to stifle my voice, right? Because over here, we are not a monolith, okay? We are Christians, but we embrace everybody. We talk politics. We talk the R word, racism. We talk everything. And we still want this to be very healthy, engaging, supportive, because that's what a village looks like. Okay, remember, we're the villagers. Okay, we're the villagers who exist in a small community, and in our community we can disagree respectfully, and we can hold tension and have difficult conversations with love for each other and continue to respect each other. And that's not normally a thing that is welcomed by people who want to sponsor you, because people who want to sponsor you want to use you as a conduit to get to your audience. And once they begin to realize your audience is a representative of your value system, and perhaps you are out here proclaiming to be Christian, and yet they have a clause in their contractual terms that says you have, by signing to work with this company is in support of a specific group of people who I may not be against who they are, but I may also not be aligned with their value system. And then suddenly we get to a crisis where it's like, okay, you're a sellout because now you are putting money over your value system. And I guess that is a decision. I'm glad I am doing this now, whilst I've lived a little bit of a life, and I'm not a 20-year-old, okay? And when you live long enough, you find out that some things are just not worth trading down for. I want to be able to go to sleep. I want my son to wake up and be proud of me. I want to wake up and feel like the values that I was brought up on are still withholding and withstanding. And it's easier to make those decisions when you have had life and you have had life's experiences and you realize that some things are just not worth it. So I don't say this because I am a moral and upstanding person. I say this from my lived experience of being a human being who knows that at nearly 40 years old, there are just some things that are not worth it, and money is not everything that you think it should be, you know. But then that is where in this moment we're like, okay, if we wanted to have like a meetup, wouldn't it have been easier to subsidize like income and have like a great experience by having a sponsorship with like companies that would be able to align with us and sponsor us and all that stuff? But you know what? The Lord will make a way. That's all. That's all. The Lord will make a way. The Lord will surely make it, because he's the one who makes it all happen. Ultimately, whether there will be a sponsorship or not, who made that person who creates sponsorship? Definitely the Lord. So he will always make a way. So that's fine. Anyway, I think the time is nearly up, but let's talk about the feedback rather quickly before I run off, because I'm literally running off. I have to be out of here. I have an appointment at 1:45. So let me just read you the feedback. And before I read you the feedback, Nicola, I thought it would be you anyway. Yeah, I know. I will send you an email, and then we'll talk about that in due course. Okay. Whilst we're at it, just to give you some context, this is the feedback from the lemon cake. The lemon cake. The lemon cake, we baked the cake. You saw me bake it here. We filled and covered the cake. The lemon cake became the representative for the ganache discs are used in covering the cake. So just in case you're watching and you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about the lemon cake that we made filled with curd. We made the curd right here. So it was homemade curd. We made the buttercream. Did we make the buttercream on here? We made the French buttercream the week before. And I made the Italian buttercream. I didn't film the Italian buttercream on a live. I filmed it privately because I wanted it to be a long form video, which I am editing. So there is the entire lemon cake, right? Remember when we made the lemon cake also, I was like, oh, this cake is amazing. And I was pinching bits of it. And then we kind of stacked the cake. And I showed you the small book that I made from the lemon cake. If you don't know what I'm talking about, when I finished covering the cake in ganache, I couldn't come back and stack the cake because it had a lot of work on it. And I just thought it was going to take away from the live session because I was really pressed for time. I was incredibly stressed about it because mentally, whilst I was here, like doing all the stuff, the inner talk with myself and that cake was different. I'll tell you why. Because it was a very specific theme of cake. So just to give you a bit of background, the cake was for a 90-year-old. This 90-year-old is a very well-read historian. And I mean a historian, somebody who studied history and make contributions to historical books. So he's a writer. He hasn't authored his own book independently, but he contributes to studies in books. So if you go back to the community post, you will see the cake. It's a 2-tier cake, and then you will see an edible book. The edible book is actually a book that he contributed to. He contributed a whole page, and his subject of history is on Roman history, and for his lifetime, part of his lifetime, he had a career in reenacting Roman Roman art and Roman theater. So we are not talking about like your regular person who just wants a regular cake. It's a cake for a 90-year-old. It's a cake for somebody who actually is very adept at their skill and subject matter. And I was presented with the task of representing this person in cake form. So never mind that I could make a cake and structure it. The real difficulty for me was just how to represent the quality of this person's experience and what they liked in a cake form. It can be awfully challenging, more so if I am handed the creative control, because the creative control process might probably seem like a blessing when the customer says, oh, I trust you to make up something. It may seem easy, but I can tell you it's not easy, because then what they've done is they have trusted you in such a limitless capacity, and yet you do not know this character. The person ordering the cake was ordering the cake for their father. So the 90-year-old is the customer's father. I don't know this man. I've been handed information to represent him in a cake form. How do I begin to do that? So I knew about the subject theme. They were willing to pay an arm and a leg for it, but I also couldn't conceptualize the cake in real form, and that was my challenge. Eventually, I went back and forth. It took me, let me tell you something, it took me 6 weeks to even derive the concept. I was stressed about it. I was like, how do I do this? I guess the reason why I was stressed about it is because the subject matter was really important to me. I couldn't just whip up anything for this customer because I knew how important this was. So ultimately, what you saw on the live was just trying to put the cake together. But at that point in time, the uncertainty made me unable to not talk about the cake itself. Anyway, the cake was delivered on Saturday at 2 p.m. at a local pub for the celebrant. Nothing beats the experience of an amazing customer. Not just an amazing customer, but someone who is just a nice person and goes out of their way to make you feel welcome. But more than that, they make you aware they appreciate what you do. Nothing beats that experience. And this customer, 2 years ago, I had made their wedding cake. And so when they came back, they referenced how an amazing experience it was when they ordered their wedding cake. They ordered their wedding cake. I made the cake. They sent me positive feedback. My life is moved on 2 years later. I was just surprised that when they came back 2 years later, they said, hey, this is me. You know what? 2 years ago, you made my wedding cake. It was so amazing. And I'm so happy to come back to you for a cake for my dad. And I looked at the email. I'm like, what? Because you do a good deed. You don't live there. You just move on, right? I don't live in the place of the good deeds I make. So it is really heartwarming when a customer comes back and reminds you of what a great experience they had. And then on top of that, I had this challenge of recreating. So now I don't just have the challenge of maintaining the experience. Even better, I have to possibly, where possible, I have to surpass that. Or at least maintain the same threshold. It can't go down from here on, can it? Right? So there she is, and she's giving me this task about her dad's 90th birthday. And I'm like, okay, so how do I even make this better from an experience from 2 years ago? So this is kind of the mindset of where I was when this cake was made. If you want to see all of it about the cake, go back to the community post and you will see it. And here is the feedback. I'm just going to read the feedback, and you know what? I realize I'm running out of time, but I'm going to read you the feedback. And however you feel about it, leave it in the comment section or go and post it under the community post of the cake. And then we will talk about it some more later. So here's the feedback. Hello, Gladys. Oh, it might help for you to know that I haven't managed to respond to this. So if you have an email waiting for me, please just know I'll get back to you, okay? Right, so class, let's get to the feedback. Hello, Gladys. Thank you so much for the super cake you delivered at the inn yesterday. The time and care you've taken to provide such a special celebration cake is wonderful. We're grateful we could arrange everything. You could arrange everything so. We're grateful we could arrange everything so easily with you by sending emails from our home in Somerset. And this is a couple who live in Somerset. It is 4 hours away, right? Including the photos of Dad, his hobbies, and suggestions of the theme for his 90th birthday. It was lovely to see you again, our second time in a couple of years. It takes a lot to impress my dad. He hates a fuss. He was so impressed with your cake and thrilled with all the details that fitted it to a T. He's so enthusiastic about the cake that, again, this morning he's saying that a surprise family get-together was perfect. But he had to say that the cake was superb and was the present he could have had. We left Northampton this morning with Dad trying to decide if he could preserve the cake that he had made. We left Northampton this morning with Dad trying to decide how he could preserve the book that you had made on top of the cake. Good luck with business. You are a star. Best wishes always. She signs with her name. That's the feedback, okay? That's the feedback. I will post a copy of it under the cake somewhere, or I will update the post so that you get to see it for yourself. Like I said, I make the cake, I put my heart in it. My job is done. I am grateful to be paid for it, and then my life moves on. But these are the experiences that keeps me going when people like Sandra's show up anyway. But more than anything, it should also be an encouragement to all of you, all of us in this little ecosystem here, that a little thought of kindness goes a long way, and you will never ever know how a little action of kindness would prove life-changing. Matter of fact, they didn't ask for the book. But from a customer's point of view and from a customer service point of view, I just thought for somebody who had put a life's work in a book form and made a contribution to a book, I just wondered how amazing it would be to replicate that book in cake form. So it was just something I did as an addition outside of how much they paid for the cake and what we discussed. And turns out that was the thing that actually moved the needle and made such a difference. So I will update the community post in due course for you to see. In the meantime, people, my confidence in what I do has always been in the Lord, knowing that He has gifted me something so incredible. Like in life, we all have gifts, and yours may not be cake making. It is definitely something else. Okay, the privilege of our giftings in life is set in some small detail that will probably take you a bit of time to kind of harness. The encouragement here is that even though my confidence and gratitude is in the person who has given me this incredible great gift, that gift has also extended to having you guys as a community who inspire me every day, who support me every day, who make a conscious choice, like the emails I receive from all of you, genuinely just pouring some positive prayer and just encouraging me to keep going, is just something that is so amazing and actually helps me keep perspective, even in light of difficulties in my own life and beyond. And I just want to share this little bit with you to say thank you so very much for all that you do for me, because it also goes a long way to encourage the customer experience. But above all, I'm giving that back to you to say whatever your gift is, right? Money will come if you express your gift with a whole and genuine heart. So go do the thing that you love to do, and do it well, and see where that takes you. Otherwise, I have an appointment to go to, and as always, happy baking. Thanks for stopping by. Love you so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye. Baba, let's go. I need to go.